Hi everyone, Corrie here coming in to do our energy update. This one is for the week of April the 21st, and this one's going to take us all the way through. We're going all the way to May the 1st, as we're now in Taurus season. And so we have just done the shift from Aries, and now we're in Taurus, and Taurus is very earthy. And there is a solidness that's with this move. It's the guarantee of time for things to bloom. Now, in my yearly predictions for the whole year, I spoke about you're going to really see this year transitioning in like home-based businesses and those type of things, and a lot of home-based business, not home-based business, I guess, but the foundation of the mothership, I guess, to home-based businesses. A lot of those big companies were going to be coming to an end this year. You're going to see a lot of transitioning, and a lot of people who are in those financial positions that they have built up those empires, they are closing those empires and moving on to something else. They are being directed to go in new directions, which means it has an impact and effect on everyone who has invested into those businesses. And there is another one, I think every month I have one that's kind of going under, or that's fading out. I guess it's language really matters. That is really fading out and ending their business. And so the business of another of those businesses that is based on home-based is ending, and it has an impact on people. And so, you're feeling those effects, but it is a part of that greater transition that is happening, and the movement of people, and how finances and money, energy around money, and big corporations are all adjusting, shifting, making changes. And some are either like have just maxed out where they can go, or seeing the effects of all of these changes and the impact on the business. And so another one has just, and I can't remember if it was, I think it used to come with like the big gold spoon or something. You used to take it. I believe that might be, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. And I'm only going with what I think this one is. What I thought I seen of which one it is, but it was a validation to everything that has taken place. Another one that came up for the beginning of the year was about the transition of passing over, leaving this earth, of big status people, and a change in power, and seeing changes in power. And of course, we're seeing those changes in power kind of happening everywhere. Canada is going to also be seeing a change in power, but we've seen a big transition through Easter Sunday, and I don't think it was announced till maybe today, but it was the passing of the Pope, and the Pope passing. And whether you like the Pope, whether you don't like the Pope, this is not about the dogma of religion. This is about what was already being kind of seen coming in. Did I know it was going to be exactly who it was going to be? No, but I knew there was going to be something that really pulls in that attention. But the one thing about anyone who makes that journey is who's been in that kind of position and power in their lives, is that they've obviously fulfilled their destiny. Or anyone who passes at that, who's lived their life, is they have fulfilled that destiny. And so they've answered their call. And so that call was answered. And now the transition is into rising above all ego. And so they don't get to take that ego with them. So the connection to only this way or only that way is what kind of evolves. And so we are seeing this, and we're seeing this in big ways. Now I'm in Canada, and we are, of course, hearing all the chatters around politics and power and sides, and divided up in sides, and who's right and who's wrong. And I'm like, you should put your faith in the everyday people more. You put your faith in your neighbors and the people around you more than in your political leaders, because They're not there for you. They're there for the system. They work in the system for the system. They speak differently about things, but in the end, it all comes down to the same, right? There's a same kind of desire outcome. Like their whys are always pretty much the same, but we are going to see a shift in power. We are going to see a change in power. And I don't think, as a general rule, the way that I've said this in the yearly, I don't think the current or the prime minister who just stepped down, I don't think we're done hearing about him as well. And I do believe there's still stuff that he's either that's coming up around him or things for him. I don't know. This is just all, but it's in the energy today. It's Taurus. Taurus is like, let's just look at it. Why are we afraid? Let's not be afraid. Let's not be afraid to look at it. And so we are seeing it. We're also seeing a shift of where, and this has been in for a little bit, and there is the dark moon energy that's also speaking as well. And so it is kind of the underbelly, right? It is the underbelly of all that we're here to discover, to see. So it brings things from the shadow. So we're moving from shadows into truth. We're seeing new truth, new revelations. New revelations. All this is happening. I'm in a big shift and change in my life as well. As you can see, as my house keeps getting emptier and emptier and emptier, my space keeps getting emptier. And Mother Mary has to sit right there because she can't be packed with the rest of the things. I already broke her hands off in one move and had to sew her hands back on. But she has been a pivotal part of my journey through communicating, through channeling Mother Mary. And so it's been big. Yesterday felt somber. I didn't feel the energy yesterday with the Easter Sunday. It felt very somber. It felt very slow. It felt very like there was no need to fuss. Like, don't fuss, just be today. And so there was a just be kind of energy. But now we're moving into some friction. And so there is some friction, and you may find yourself being ahead of yourself or feeling like you're behind, but you may be ahead. You may be noticing that it's like you've been in this big rush, but what was the big rush for? Where you're going? So it does feel like there's a pause. It's like everything is just pausing. Everything is just like standing still. And it's just like, what are we waiting for? And it's almost like the horse waiting for the race, but the race hasn't started. So there's an anticipation in this energy. And so you may feel this like anticipation, like you've been waiting for something to unfold, waiting for something to happen, waiting for something to begin, and it hasn't fully began. And it's like you're at the start gate to something. And so there is like this period, and it is a bit of a pause period. And we're in this pause period today a little bit. We're feeling this pause period, and it is going to play out for a few days in this week. You're also going to, not you might not be going to, but it's also happening. So there is also this happening. There is something that is happening. There's something that's unfolding. There's something coming out of the dark and into the light. There is something we will find out, something we're going to hear about, that it is kind of like, oh shit. oh. And it changes things. It changes the narrative. So there is a plot shift in the energy. There's like a plot shift. Something is changing the plot, changing direction, and changing plans in specific areas in life. It is also where we have to pay attention to when there is a shift of energy, that we don't be startled, or that we don't jump into an action that is not aligned with our truth. So it's like, it's so easy to get mad. It's so easy to get angry. It's so easy to go to hate. It's so easy to go, I knew this, and these are these people, and this is this, and this is that. And it's so easy to kind of turn on our own. It's so easy to get lost in that energy. It is the energy that just sucks you in. So this week, don't be sucked in. Don't let yourself get sucked in. to that energy. Don't let yourself get taken down. Don't let yourself leave your position, leave your post, leave where you are, that you know you're on a right path or your right direction, or things are going good or things are going right. This could be the week where you could self-sabotage. And so beware of self-sabotage, beware of leaping, taking those leaps that are not a good leap, that are just like a fall. It's like jumping off a cliff. Right? I've been talking about this for a while. I don't know what with the jumping off the cliff story is, but it is coming up. And of course, we are going to feel we're going to feel this collectiveness of grief energy that is also out there. And there is a grief energy, and it's not just the passing of a pope. It is this of the feeling, the sense, the illusion that life is not working out or things are not working out, but things are being adapted and adjusted. So there's adjustments and tweaks being made by the divine that is guiding us through. Now I'm feeling a strong presence of the angels. I'm feeling a strong presence of the guardians. I'm feeling that sense of ask. Why are you not asking? Why are you not asking? And so if there is needs to be met, if you need assistance, if you need help, if you need something, it is the week to really put into practice losing the ego, letting go of the super independence, and asking, so that life can flow a little easier. If something is not working out, if you go out to eat and something goes wrong, don't walk away complaining. Ask to speak to the manager. Be honest with yourself and others. If food is crappy once, doesn't mean the whole restaurant is crappy. Doesn't mean everyone there is no good. Doesn't mean the whole place should be destroyed online because you may have had one bad experience. No, be honest with yourself. You are giving yourself permission to be angry, to be pissed off, and to take out on somebody else what is an undealt, suppressed story energy within yourself. Phoebe, don't pick on Jazz. See, Phoebe is picking on Jazz. Phoebe, be a good girl. Big bed, two little animals fighting over one bed. Phoebe, be a good girl. There's the energy right there. Little Yorkie, little cat, and one is tantalizing the other. Phoebe, keep your paws to yourself. That's the energy. That's really where we are. And so the guardians are asking us to ask. And so when we ask in person, in our human relationships, it also teaches us to keep asking for the right things and asking for very specifically what it is that we need assistance with by the angels, by the guides. If we don't know, how does anyone else know? And how does anyone help us if we don't go to the right channels, to the right people, to the right places, if we don't reach out? And so this week, the energy is speaking about reaching out. There is a lot of kindness, a lot of compassion in this energy this week, and it should not be forgotten. It should not be discounted. It is something that just moves us. It takes us to the place of where it can open our hearts. It can be like the olive branch. It's an extension. You helping someone today with your kind words might be the change. I recently was in a restaurant, and there was two people there, and they were complaining about their food and about how it was bland and da-da-da. And they had asked for the manager, but the young lady who was serving them, her energy, when they left the store, when they left the place, you can see how deflated she was. And you could see she was defeated, and everyone was trying to make her feel better. But when you lay your energy on someone like that, you leave a piece of your hurt or your disappointment with them. That extends. you might move on because you've now complained where you need to complain. You've done that. But sometimes the other extension of all this is in the consideration to reach out and just, maybe they're much older, they're crones, they're wise, they were older women, they could have helped that person. And just, saying to her, I'm so sorry I had to complain today. And I hope there was something that out of this that helps you. And I want you to know that it's not you as a person. It is something to do with the situation. But I don't want you to be discouraged. It's an opportunity for you. That healthy communication from someone who's in a crone position versus somebody who's in a maiden position in life can really, truly help somebody else. So this ability that we have to be able to ask, to reach out, to do what we need to do so that everyone receives what needs to be given to help change a situation or to make the world or to make things better, all begins with how we approach it, how we show up, how we communicate, how we speak, and how we end things. How we end things, even if we have to do the hard things for the right reason, if we end it in a way, if we can, if possible, if you can end things in a way of where you're not laying, you can't help how somebody else feels, but you're not leaving the collateral, you're not leaving your garbage thrown on somebody else. That's it. And you're not also being left with somebody else's garbage thrown on you. If we can inspire each other, if we can be better in areas of our lives through communication, through how we show up, we will find our way being able to live and be able to be more connected to the divine, to the virtues, the angels. If you don't want to believe in angels, virtues, they're all virtuous, right? There is a virtuous connection, and it's like looking through stained glass. And the stained glass will be a pattern. You'll see it. You see the beauty. You probably won't see the until the sun shines through. And when the sun shines through and you see the prism of light, then you see the Sometimes you need to be the sun. Sometimes you got to go to that dark places of your own self-discovery to find the light so that you can see the light in the darkness. You can see the light in a shitty situation. You can see the light in somebody else. You can see something that is coming from the eyes of the divine, the heart of the divine, and that which allows us to be able to honor that most authentic of ourselves. And so this is speaking big time to us. And as I'm speaking this, it's like, I'm like almost uncomfortable. I'm like, I want to run. I want to run away from this because I can feel my human being uncomfortable in this conversation, because that's how powerful the light of the divine is that it loves us so unconditionally and loves us so much that it's like a kid getting a hug when you're in a tantrum or when you're hurting or when you've just done something wrong, and now but you're being loved even though you've done something wrong. You're not being scolded constantly and being told you're horrible for the rest of your life. You're being told, you know what, you just made a mistake. You're just learning. You're just learning. You're like, but I did this. And so there's like the guilt is coming, the shame is coming, whatever it is, but yet you're still being loved. That's what this energy is like. That's what this energy is like. And I'm like, so I feel like a little kid, and I feel that essence in myself. And I can feel the shift between channel communicating and myself being in this a little bit. And I'm like, it is an odd feeling, and it feels odd. It feels weird because it's I can feel the empowerment, and I can feel my ego wanting to disempower me and disempower the conversation in some way. And I'm like, oh, this is real. So this is a foreshadowing of giving like a very visual experience of what it is like, and how we have the constant conversation that can kind of push away all of the good things in life, that can push us away from the conversations that we need to have, that can leave us complaining Usually when we're complaining, it's because we have a fear story or because we haven't dealt with something that needs to be dealt with. And so there is something more. And sometimes we're not complaining, we're just outright fucking angry. And there's a difference. But all of it is because the world or life is not going the way that we want it to go. And that's how powerful the ego is. The world is filled with a lot of tantrum energy. And it's not in a state of faith that, you know what, I guess I was put here for these times. And it's like, we can't just be our best self when everything is going our way. We have to become the best version of ourselves, no matter what the circumstances, no matter what the time. And I don't mean being the best version that appears as like putting a mask on and you got your shit all together. Being that best version of ourselves is being the authentic version of ourselves. It's being real with ourselves. It's being true to ourselves. It's being true to ourselves allows us to be true to other people. And so the energies gaining momentum. So this stop stagnant energy is in this beginning. And now I feel like I'm coming up to the weekend where I'm coming up to Thursday, Friday. And as I'm coming up to Thursday, Friday, I'm like, oh, okay, let's run now, but not run from this light. Let's take the light with us. Let's take the love with us. Let's take it all with us. Let's go on this journey. And so there is momentum that will be building up again by this weekend. And as we prepare and we move through this weekend, I'm like, okay, they're letting us up, they're letting us out. So it is often the great story of humility. My post on Facebook this week does speak about humility, which is another one of the conversations that I've been having. I just looked down and it's 111. Look at that, 111. Oh, 111. And so I'm like, back on track. So we are moving into that kind of, the doors are opening, the gates are opening, and it's going to be a go time. And so the beginning of over the weekend, going into the early aspects of next week, is going to feel like the rush is on. The rush is on. I got to get going. I got to get moving. I got to get doing. I gotta. So there's a lot of I gotta energy, and you're going to feel the enthusiasm. You're going to feel the excitement, but this is where you also have to not become forgetful. Don't forget where you've been. Don't forget your manners. Don't forget about other people. Don't forget about where you have been in life. You have to remember where you have been so you do not repeat a pattern. It is a very crucial period of time that we have right now that's reminding us, and that we're seeing happen, of where when we move into next week's energy is like, be careful of repeating patterns, that you don't repeat a pattern. You don't do the same you've ever done. You don't hold back on truths that need to be shared. You don't keep doing the things that you once did. You are showing up differently. The world is showing up different. Things are going to start to be different, feel different. It is a massive kind of a movement of energy that is going to be coming through. We are being infused with this powerful light energy, but we're also seeing the development of new innovative ideas. So you're going to be seeing like new things come on the market, new innovative ideas come on the market. You're going to really see the areas you may be seeing this now, but over the past couple of years, the shit that went wrong, the things that didn't work out, all of those things that were like this, it's like you were so sad about, you felt so defeated, you felt so left out, you felt like you were forgotten, you felt like, the best plans didn't work out. You're going to see why they didn't work out. You're going to see why that didn't happen. You're going to see all of that. I remember a couple years ago, not a couple years. I've got a lot of these. I actually just had this conversation with Lisa this morning. I was talking about humility and all of these things that I thought would be, work out in my life, or I thought would go well, and they didn't. And they didn't take off running. My biggest program, just kind of, everything felt like it went through this phase of where everything has fizzled. And it's like, and the thoughts have been, you should just quit. You should just quit. You should just walk away. What are you even doing this for? Why are you bothering? Why are you bothering? I don't know what you're even bothering for. Why keep going? Those conversations happen. And it's just like this moment of where there has been every reason why you should, or why even I should have in my life. And now it's going to start moving us into a time that reveals something new for us. And it's going to just say, you know what? See why this didn't work out? See why that didn't happen? See why you didn't sign there? See why that relationship didn't work? Or you see why that move didn't happen? Whatever it is, you're going to start to see your future appear. You're going to start to see, and not everyone all at once, but we're moving into the possibility of this. We're moving into the energy and the time of where you're going to start to see why things were waiting, why things were paused, and how things have been percolating, how things have been being worked out for you without you being involved, because you involved may have changed the plan, may have interfered, may have, had a better idea. And so it's where the idea that's better than our best idea, our thoughts, our relationships the relationships that are better than the relationships that we think are the best for us, it's where you may be possibly discovering the why the things didn't work out. But it's been resistance. So it is a lot of resistance in this energy. There is a lot of temptation to go back to an old pattern right now. There's a lot of reasons. The world is giving you a lot of reasons to be angry, frustrated, mad, all of those things. But it's also giving you a lot of reasons to be happy, to be excited, to be enthusiastic, to be celebrating, to be joyful. Like, there's a lot of really powerful, influential energy that is rising us up. And as the guardians keep revealing to me, it's almost like I am seeing them like dancing around in front of me going, hey, look over here. Look over here. What are you looking at that? Why do you keep looking at that? Why don't you come join the party? Why don't you come join the celebration? And so there is like this joining in of the very powerful, virtuous energy that overrides our lower expression, that brings us to vices, addictive patterns, addictive habits, and it starts to override some of that. And so you may all of a sudden say, oh, I don't know why, but all of a sudden I'm like, I feel inspired. I feel inspired to be healthy. I inspired to eat healthy. I feel inspired to start working out again. I feel inspired to want to connect to friends, to people, all of that. I feel it again. And so there's a very live, touchy interaction, like human touch we're being encouraged to really bring in and allow space for within our lives as we are moving forward. And so there is a greater plan, and there's always a bigger plan, and it's always bigger than the plan that our biggest plan in our mind could ever have. And so that is kind of the to go energy that is going to be speaking to us. And so life is real. Life is real. There is real stuff that is happening. There is real things that we face, that we look at. There's losses, there's gains, there's the fates of others, there's passing of loved ones. Like, all of that stuff is real. We can't live in fear of it taking place, because sometimes we just don't know. Other times we have a little bit of a heads up. I work with Archangel Azrael, and Archangel Azrael is constantly and always appearing to me. I am a medium, so I do have that regular conversation or relationship with Archangel Azrael and transformation. And so when Archangel Azrael appears to me or comes to me, it's always a dark shadow, appears as a dark shadow, a big dark shadow. And I just know it's the angel of death, because I feel the unconditional love around it. It's not a fear around it. It's unconditional love. And then I will always hear, when somebody is passing, even so much as somebody's celebrity, pope, I'll always just hear, I'm going to die today. I can hear the spirit just say to me, I'm going to die today. And I don't always know exactly who it is, but I'm just like, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I'm going to be gone. I've had to question whether or not it was me going many times, because it comes as if it's like my voice. And I'm like, oh my God, am I going? But no, it is that the soul knows before the human knows. Your divine expression, your higher self knows before you know. Something that keeps moving our body, something that keeps us not doing some of the things that we think we should be doing in our head, is because often our higher self, our soul knows what we're yet to know. And that pause, that journey, is often that moment that we forget to embrace, to embody. And it's those moments and those times that you really need to embrace, embody those slow times, those instead of being in there beating yourself up, being angry with yourself. The angels are just saying, it's that you forget those times. You forget the power of those times. You forget what's really happening in those times. Those moments, those experiences of our lives are opportunities, and they're opportunities. It's our greatest lessons. Wisdom is gained. Teachings are created, are given to us in those moments of our lives. And there's a lot to be discovered about who and what we are in those times, and about the parts of ourselves that are not really truths, that it's not really us. And we forget it so easily, and we repeat the pattern, the habit. We keep going back to the same story, looping around. We keep telling ourselves the same thing so that we can be hard on ourselves, or we can blame others, or that we can look at the world and life in such a way that just says, oh yeah, here I am once again, or this is what the world is again. And it's like, these are pivotal, these are gems. These are gemstone moments in our lives. And these moments can help cultivate and create part of the best of who we are, and the part of the best, and bring us to a place of where we get to be the best of ourselves, and to live as the best of ourselves. Even if we're not looking like the best of ourselves, even if we're not doing what we think is the most best, we're not doing the best, or we're not climbing Mount Everest, and we're not making billions of dollars, and we're not doing the little things that we should be doing, but we're here. But we hear those moments are powerful. Those moments are powerful. And instead of using them to beat ourselves up, to destroy ourselves, to be angry, to be envious, to be jealous, to be anything, if we use those moments to be with self, to be with the divine, to be with God, source, creator, to just be, they're telling me there is, allow yourself to be there, because it's as if your most precious gem. And they keep showing me a sapphire. I'm getting a sapphire. I don't know why I'm getting a sapphire, but I'm getting a sapphire, and they're showing me a sapphire. And sapphire. So I'm seeing a sapphire, and they're giving me a sapphire, and I just keep getting this sapphire, and it's spinning and it's turning. And I just keep hearing it's the early stage of strength and courage. It takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage to jump into action. It takes a lot of strength and courage to have patience, to sit in the pause. I don't want to use, they're saying it's not patience, it's pause. To sit in the pause, to sit in the wait, to sit in the wait, to sit in the wait. They're telling me to sit in the wait. And they're saying as Archangel Michael enters in this coming days and in this coming week, we're going to really feel the power of what true strength is and what true courage is. It takes a lot of courage to show up. It takes a lot of courage to step away. It takes a lot of courage to do the big things in life. And there's a lot of times we need to just trust the process. I'm seeing there's a whole circle. Archangel Raziel. There's something in many of our lives and in the journey that I just feel like secrets are being revealed. Archangel Raziel is showing me secrets being revealed, and he keeps spinning this sapphire. He's holding the sapphire. And there's archangels. There is several angels. I just see several angels everywhere. There's several angels. Archangel Raziel is holding and spinning this sapphire, and it keeps getting like more intense and darker as it's spreading. We're in the midst of something, and we're in the midst of something unfolding. Something is happening. Something is happening. The angels are here. I don't know what it all is yet. We're going to see the strength, the courage. There is something big and profound that is unfolding, awakening, opening. It feels like we're in a big waiting room. Doors, moments, opportunities, healing, change. There's a beautiful transition that is happening, and there is like this transmutation of energy that is happening at this moment, at this time. It is building, and they just keep bringing me in through this vortex, and everything comes to this sapphire. Everything is coming to this sapphire. Whatever this sapphire is representing, whatever this sapphire is, it is revealing something to us. It feels as if somehow the world is opening up. There's like this big opening, this big light. It's infused. The world feels like it's going to be infused, like we're being infused with something. There's an interjection that kind of stops us in our tracks, or stops the energy in our tracks, and it just changes things. And things are about to change. Life is changing, and we are coming in through, it feels like a revolution kind of energy. And it, I don't know, it's where almost like, don't buy into the worst. Don't buy into the worst that's happening, because this could be where the best is also happening. It's like there is a turnaround. If you've been going through a challenge, if you've been trying to overcome something, if you've been struggling with something, there is a comeback, a turnaround, a change, a heart opening, a heart-centered healing that's coming. And it's like giving you the opportunity to say yes to your biggest healing, to your biggest change. If you've been waiting on a job, it could be where this energy brings in a job, it brings in a time. And it's like we're being brought into something. We're moving into something. It's like time begins to kind of speed up, and like, but not in the way of like time's flying by, not like that. It's like if you've been told you have to wait, oh, you got to wait another year, you got to wait there, you may find out, no, you know what, we're going to do this sooner. Something is coming. And it's just like, and I'm just being bombarded with the angels and with the light. And there's just so much about this. And I don't know what to do with it because I'm live. I'm recording this, and I could stop the recording, but I also don't want to stop the recording because I don't know what else they have for us. And I feel like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? I'm asking for deeper guidance. I'm asking for deeper knowing. The choir is singing. So there is coming something that we cannot turn a blind eye to. It feels as if this is I just keep seeing a big light coming into Earth, hitting Earth. It's one of those moments that gives us a big ass wake up call on a world scale, not in your personal life, like it will personally as well, but it's a shake up to wake up. And that shake up to wake up is really, truly bringing awareness to how much the imitation light has infiltrated, how pretend, how everything has been like, there's been so much like falseness, so much imitation light, so much presenting itself as light and truth, but so much that is not real. It is not true. It doesn't have a realness to it. It's a chase. So many people have been chasing something and not being authentic. And that's going to really, truly bring about some big changes. Everything just kind of goes silent, and then everything comes back on again. It's like the darkness and then the light. And it's just like, so we could be experiencing some sort of big weather pattern, or some sort of kind of I don't know. This could be some sort of attack. It could be some sort of like invasion of energy. Whatever this is, they keep showing me on the other side of it, on the other side, on the other side, on the other side is love. On the other side, there's more light. On the other side, there's real truth. It is just like, this is, and so it could be foiled plans. It could be this plan to destroy, or a plan for something. And it's just like, no, it stops in its tracks. So there is some sort of shift, some sort of change. This is bigger than us. This got nothing. This is not, what's happening affects us on the macro. This is big. On the micro, this is us really, truly recognizing the value of life, and the value of living, and the value of being alive, and the value of love, and the people that are in our lives, and what we value the most. And we're going to have some real clear direction and projection on what should matter and what matters the most. And you're going to see a real kind of, it feels like some sort of like collapse or downfall of whether or not this is some of the outlets of social media, whether this is on a, like, I don't know what it is, but it's something that's going to bring about a big change. They're everywhere, and the sapphire just keeps spinning and turning. So it's getting brighter, it's getting more intense. And so the power of this energy is becoming more intense, and there is an opening, and it feels like heaven's doors are open. It feels like the gate to the heavens, to spirit world, is wide open. Our connection to spirit, our intuition, our connection to our own spirit, to our own soul, is more powerful than it has ever been. It's going to be more powerful. We're going to feel it. And it's just like, we're being called to do the right things for the right reasons, in such a way that it's just like it spins us when we're about to like tromp in and be all like, I'm going to go tell them. It's like, you go to open your mouth, and that's not what comes out. It's because the soul speaks before the mind speaks, the ego speaks. And so when the soul begins to speak, and all I keep thinking is like Martin Luther King standing on stage, and his speech and his talk and what he had said. But then I also remember what happened after and how it changed the world. The words changed the world, the actions of others, the action of another then changed everything. And everything is changing. Everything is in a forward movement in a way that's very eye-opening. I always say this: remember, the children are looking. Remember, the children are watching. There is no way in this world that our children and the little inner child in us who never got that should always be the most important. Nothing else should come first. And there's no justifying in any way that they should not be a priority in any way. And so I don't know, there's just something that is bringing power, and there's a powerful influence, and they're arriving, but they're arriving in a big way, and big things are unfolding. So it's a big month. It's ending in a big way, and it's changing in a big way. And we're going to see a big movement. And as we prepare and as we move into May, by the time we hit the full moon in May, we're going to feel like we have lived a lifetime energetically, not saying everything in your life, but energetically, it's going to feel like we've lived a lifetime in this short period of time that we've just experienced. Man, I don't know. That's pretty much what I got for you. Have a beautiful week. I hope this is all increments. I don't even know what's going to be in this video. I don't edit them. I don't touch them. They are as they are, but the sapphire is moving, and we are all being influenced and affected by Raziel. We're all being influenced and infused with Raziel's love for us, and holder of our secrets, and integrity that he holds and that he opens us up to. So we're secret parts of ourselves, things you didn't even know about yourself, may begin to come online. You may start to feel them, sense them, know them, like, I didn't know I even liked that, or I didn't know I could do that. Whatever that may be, there is a revolution that is coming in and through, and it is being guided by the beautiful divine presence of the angels. I send you so much love. Have a beautiful day, and I will spend more time with Raziel and the sapphire and the angels, and see what they bring for me.